Who wins the Super Bowl? Who wins the Super Bowl? Who wins the Super Bowl? That is the question that we're going to answer today on the Jay All Day Sports Show. Only 3 games left to determine who wins this year's Super Bowl. We got 2 amazing conference championships this weekend. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, and my Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Commanders. 2 incredible games. We're going to break down who I think wins these conference championship games and then who ultimately wins this year's Super Bowl. Stick around. NFL fans, there's only 3 games left to determine who wins Super Bowl 59. We went on quite the run towards the end of the year. The last 9 weeks of the NFL season, the regular season, we went 110 wins to 39 losses, guys. That's why you have to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to determine who wins Super Bowl 59, but we got to get through these conference championship games first. The first game I want to talk about is the Commanders on the road taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. They were 1-1 this year against each other. The Philadelphia Eagles were out to a huge lead early in the second game, but Jalen Hurts did get hurt. He only played about half of the first quarter in that spot, and the Commanders had to score 22 points in the fourth quarter to come back to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles won and contained Jayden Daniels, in that first meeting, and I look for them to do it again. When we're looking at the overall roster between these Philadelphia Eagles and the Commanders, Eagles have the number 1 defense, number 7 on offense. The Commanders, their defense is awful. 29th ranked defense. Offense coming in at 15. And if you just look at these rosters, man, it's hard to think that the Commanders can beat this Philadelphia Eagles defense, guys. Look at the defense, guys. It's all green here in Eagles land. Pretty much everyone on this defense has a 70 grade or better, these starters. Very, very, very impressive stuff, guys. I'm very pleased with what Vic Fangio brings to the table. And if you look at the Commanders, especially this offensive line, guys, there's a reason to be concerned if you're a Commanders fan, right? Sam Cosmi, the starting right guard, is out. He was the best offensive lineman for this group. It's not even really close. They don't even have one guy with a 70 grade on this offensive line. And the D-line isn't much better, man. It's really not, especially when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. Mailata, 95.4 PFF grade this year. Absolutely unbelievable. Lane Johnson, probably the best right tackle in the NFL, and these interior linemen have been great too. Dickerson, Juergens, and Becton. For me, I think the Philadelphia Eagles win this game, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they won in dominant fashion. They're the better football team, but the game is played on the field, not on paper, guys. So the Commanders have a ton of momentum going forward. A ton of momentum. ESPN has the matchup predictor at 63.7% chance of the Philadelphia Eagles winning this spot. No major injuries to report on. Nakobe Dean got hurt a couple weeks ago, but his replacement has done a very, very good job in his stead. There's no real injuries besides Sam Cosmi, who got hurt last week. I believe it's an ACL injury. That's going to be a huge loss for the Commanders, because so now they don't have a lot of depth. So if one of these other guys gets hurt, I mean, it's really slim pickings for these Washington Commanders. The Commanders were 5-3 on the road this year. The Eagles 8-1 at home. Very, very impressive stuff. The link is always crazy. The weather's going to be fine. No crazy snowball game this week, guys. 38 degrees, partly sunny. The conditions are going to be great for this game. So I look for the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. They're the better football team. The coaching is probably about a wash in my opinion, but the Commanders are going to have to play pretty much perfect football to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Jayden Daniels is probably going to have to rush for over 100 yards, throw for over 4 touchdown passes, and I just don't see that happening. Vic Fangio has seen him twice already this year to get torched a third time. I don't see it. And the Washington Commanders have the 3rd worst rush defense in the entire NFL. In 2 playoff games, they've given up over 300 rushing yards. over 200 to the Lions last week. Saquon Barkley, in my opinion, is going to eat, so the Philadelphia Eagles are going to move on to the Super Bowl. Now, let's talk about this Buffalo Bills Chiefs game, guys. 33 degrees at game time in Kansas City. No precipitation in the forecast. ESPN's matchmaker predictor has the Bills at 54.6% chance of winning. But some news just broke, guys. Starting safety Taylor Rapp is out. The rookie Cole Bishop is going to be starting in his stead. I don't love that. The real major injury we need to keep our eyes on is starting cornerback Christian Benford, who's been one, if not the best cornerback in all of football this year, guys. Almost an 80 grade, 5th rank in PFF grade, an absolute stud. That would be a huge monumental loss. Even losing out on their safety, not great. Taylor Rapp is a pretty solid player. He's not an amazing safety, but now a rookie's going to be starting in his place. I don't love that, especially against a team that utilizes the middle of the field a lot with Travis Kelce. It's going to be a tough ask for the rookie. Okay, when we look at these rosters, the Kansas City Chiefs defense versus the Buffalo Bills offense, that's the matchup that's going to determine who wins this game. If the Kansas City Chiefs come out and ball out like they did last week, 8 sacks, very impressive stuff last week against a pretty mediocre Texans offense. They just fired their offensive coordinator, so that goes to show you how much they think about him, right? Karlaftis had the game of his life last week, and Jones. They need to stop these guys, right? Matchup-wise, if you look at the right side of the offensive line, Brown versus Karlaftis, that's going to be the matchup we all have to keep our eyes on. The Buffalo Bills have 2 really good offensive tackles, in my opinion. This offensive line is pretty solid, in my opinion. I like what I'm seeing out of the Buffalo Bills wide receivers and this offensive line. The Chiefs defense is very, very good. The cornerback play has been pretty solid. To me, if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I want to establish the run. One of the thorns in their side this year has been their offensive line. Joe Tunney has had to move over from guard to play left tackle. He had some trouble last week with Will Anderson and the D lineman from the Texans, right? They have a really good center in Humphrey, but the tackles, not great. Here comes the rockin' master, Jawaan Taylor. The dude's rocking before the snap comes off to try to get off the ball faster and faster. The tackles really struggle. And we look at the Bills coming at him. We're going to put this in the nickel defense. This is kind of what we're going to be seeing. We're going to see Miller and Rousseau coming after these tackles to try to get it done. We need a big game from these linebackers, Bernard and Milano, who haven't been great. Straight up, they haven't been great. They need to be a lot better if they want to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They got to figure out a way to slow Travis Kelce down because he was just running around all over the field, right? At this point in his career, there's like 3 routes that Travis Kelce's running. He's going straight down the seam. He's bending it towards the middle to settle in between the zone defense, or he's running a crosser trying some pick plays. That's all the routes Travis Kelce is really running right now, guys. So they got to shut him down. If I'm in a zone defense, I'm having one guy that's having a responsibility to spy Travis Kelce. Make somebody else beat you. Make someone else beat you because the wide receiver play has been mediocre at best for the Kansas City Chiefs on offense with Brown and Hopkins and Worthy. They've been okay at best. Not super great. And Pacheco and the running game has really, really struggled. So we want to force this Kansas City Chiefs to run the ball. If they're going to just let Mahomes run around the pocket and find openings in the zone, it's going to be a long day for the Buffalo Bills. So, who do I ultimately think wins this game? I've been going back and forth on this, but guys, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to get a big W at home. There's some injuries that are very concerning for me on the Buffalo Bills defense, right? Taylor Rapp, he's already been ruled out, and Christian Benford, he's in concussion protocol, so that's kind of 50-50 right now. I'm going with the Chiefs until the Chiefs actually lose a playoff game. It's been quite a long time since this Chiefs team has lost a playoff game. So we're getting the rematch from the Super Bowl a few years ago. Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This Philadelphia Eagles front seven, if you look at this matchup, the front seven is going to destroy the Chiefs' offensive line. We got a guard starting at left tackle. That means we got a bunch of guys in the middle of this offensive line that have to deal with Jalen Carter. Good luck with that. So if they're going to double cover Jalen Carter, that means Tooney, the guard at left tackle, is going to be on an island, and so is Taylor. That doesn't bode well for this team at all whatsoever. They're not going to be able to run the ball effectively against the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles' offense, this is going to be the matchup again. Can the Philadelphia Eagles and Saquon Barkley run the ball against Chris Jones and the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line? And I think they can. They're considerably better on the offensive line. They're going to bully these guys around a little bit, in my opinion. And my prediction for this year's Super Bowl is the Philadelphia Eagles have a parade down Broad Street, and my Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl 59 champions. Of the 4 teams left, they have the best roster. They play the best complementary football. These other 3 teams have pretty big flaws. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs, but I'm rolling with the Chiefs until they prove me some other way, right? I want the Buffalo Bills to win. I'm actually going to put like a $100 bet on the Chiefs. This way, I either win money or the Chiefs aren't in the Super Bowl, guys. That is a win-win situation for me. But Super Bowl 59, the champions of the NFL this year are the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.